As a homeschool mom, this is like your playtime. Like you get to be a little investigator.
Principles
You
and
know what
practices on the Homeschool Paradigm podcast. We've been talking about the three principles that are the core of what we believe at Homeschool Paradigm and some ideas to get you started. And today we are going to talk about creating an environment in our homeschools.
Talking about the environment that you want in your homeschool, which is our goal here is obviously a less stressful, more peaceful environment,
Right.
is by noticing your kids' responses to their environment
Yeah.
and, well, all aspects of their environment. An environment is emotional, it's physical, it's mental. There's all sorts of things kind of feeding into the environment of your homeschool.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing that you need to do, as with everything I think that we talk about, is the noticing.
Yeah.
Notice how they're responding and the things that they're reacting to within their environment.
Right. And we talk more about noticing in the first and second episodes of our little series here. So episode 36 and 37, you can go listen to.
I do want to say the thing that I love about the noticing part of this is that, again, like we've said before as well, we're not judging it in this phase at all.
Right.
We're not like trying to change anything yet. We're kind of just observing. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just something that
Seeing
I
how it's
really,
going.
really liked about just noticing it. It's like literally just observing something. So
Yeah, just like you need to know where you're starting from, right? If you do need to make changes, you don't know what changes to make if you don't know where you're starting from. Like that GPS example, I don't know if I've used it on the podcast where you're somewhere, you need to get somewhere else and you turn on your GPS and it needs to know
It needs
where
a
you
starting
are right
location.
now, your starting location. And if you decide to just yell at your GPS and be like, I don't want to tell you where I am, I don't care where I am, just get me there. Because I
right.
think a lot of times we as homeschool moms, we're like, I need to know what the best curriculum is. I need to know what to do. They
Right.
ask total strangers on,
Like an emergency.
we ask total strangers on Facebook, like, how can I do this? And they don't really know anything about what's going on right now. Like you need to have a whole coaching session to get some help like that. But
Yeah.
if I'm not interested in telling my GPS where I'm starting from, I'm not going
And
to
I
know
do
how to get there.
I also just wanted to mention that along with just that first part of noticing, just observing your kids and where they're at right now and how they respond to things, is a lot of the time after that, we don't even need to necessarily make all of the huge changes that we're
Oh
picturing.
goodness, no.
The
Oh,
really
yeah.
hard, like, we got to change this whole environment. We got to build
In fact,
ourselves a
you can't do
schoolroom,
that
something like
all at
that. Like
once.
I always
Yeah.
see homeschool moms that are talking about, or I hear from you,
Hmm.
mom, that are talking about, they take pictures of like these beautiful rooms and they're like, now we can finally like homeschool in peace. And it's still chaotic, right? They have to change the plan in a few years. And I think what's really cool about all of these principles is that that's not going to happen when you use the principles and practices because they're not like a life altering thing. They're just little
Right.
changes in the way you think
Well, it
about your
can be
kids
life altering, but not like all in one
right.
day.
And the way
Well,
you do things.
I think what part of what you're saying is you won't get to the point where it's going to be an emergency and you have to change your entire lifestyle because when
Right.
you're doing these things and you're going along noticing your children's responses on different days and different
Right.
years and as they age and you change life phases, you're never going to need a total turnaround. You're never
Mm,
going to need that. You notice these smaller things as they come up so that you're just growing and building
that's
together
true too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
and you're not coming to that state of emergency and
Right.
chaos.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that your home will never be chaotic, but you're not coming to a state of chaos in your homeschool like
Or
add this
within
Well, like
yourself
mental
too.
chaos. I mean,
yeah.
our home was chaotic a lot of times, but I don't,
Yeah.
doing these things in our homeschool and in my mind, my mind was not chaotic, even
Right.
when
Yeah.
our home was. Like
Right.
that was fun. That kind of chaos can be just fun or whatever.
No, but I think what we were saying kind of leads into the second thing that we were talking about for creating this environment, and that is after noticing your kids' responses to the different things that are going on and the different like kind of inputs that they're getting is experimenting. And
Hmm.
I think that's my favorite one out of all of these that we're going to talk about
Yeah.
in this episode
Yeah.
because when you think of it as experimenting, kind of like we were talking about not getting to that state of crisis and making these small changes, I think if you're realizing that you can constantly experiment and try new things and try
With
different
different
things,
learning languages too.
Oh,
yeah, and
I don't think
Yeah.
she's mentioned the learning languages
oh
yet.
yeah, Mom, you were gonna share
Oh,
the
sorry.
about the learning languages. Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, so the learning languages, and I have a free PDF download of learning languages guide, so I will put that in the description. But these are we chose six. I mean, I'm sure there are a million, but we chose six to have in homeschool paradigm, and they are basically emotional environments that allow our kids and ourselves to work best and work together. So one example would be trust. So the description is from the child's point of view. It says, I learn better when you help me feel smart and don't think my ideas are bad. So basically, you're not shaming your kids, not making them feel stupid. You're kind of supporting
Mhm.
their big ideas. And it says, I need to feel like you're
Yeah.
on my team. You're on their team. So
Yeah.
that goes a really, really long way towards partnering, towards your kid feeling like they can trust you with their emotions. They are
Yeah.
more open, more willing to learn with you, learn from you. And each one of these six is pretty impactful if you
Yeah.
observe whether your child needs a certain one. Like I think everyone obviously needs to not be shamed, but
Right.
there are others that might be more or a little bit less important to a certain child or whatever. But
Mhm.
and some of these would come naturally to a lot of people anyway.
Yeah. And I think
So,
the guide is definitely one tool that can help you experiment with kind of focusing on different emotional or mental needs that your child might have for their environment while learning. And then also just to talk about the physical for a second, I think, that's something that a lot of homeschool moms do think about, like Sarah was saying. They want a nice room and they want
right.
supplies. And I
Hmm.
think that's a really good thing to think about the physical environment, but also realizing that you are experimenting. You don't have to come up with a big plan for a whole room that you're going to have your husband build onto the house, but you
That would
can
be super fun,
experiment.
but
I know that would be
you
And
great.
should
again, there are
definitely
also
have your kids help with that building if he does that.
Oh, definitely.
there are also
But
different ways to have a physical environment too, like in
yeah,
small ways as well.
Right. Like
yeah. And
have
I
a
think,
snack on the table or whatever.
mhm.
Right.
And I think we mentioned it in the last
Yeah.
episode in part two of this series. Just even something like playing music that you know that they enjoy, a
Mhm.
snack, a glass of water, anything, a nice pillow that they like behind their back. I think anything to just kind of experiment with that physical environment is also going to be a
Right.
helpful thing.
I love that experimenting idea. And I honestly, the physical environment is, I think that most of us homeschool moms feel like that is kind of the easiest thing. I don't want to say it's easy because it's not necessarily, but it's easy to go to that first, to have a room or
The big solution that
where are
we
we
think
going to
is going to
sit
help.
or whatever. It is, we think it's
Yeah.
a big solution that it's going to
Right.
solve. Or, I mean, honestly, it's easier to move furniture than it is to change our emotions. So
Yeah.
it's hard. And that's why
Yeah.
this is like the third in our three-part series
Well, and one
instead
thing
of
I
the
wanted
first
to
one.
mention about the experimenting, just one of the things that I thought of as you guys were talking was about how I think during this phase, observing your kids and experimenting with different learning languages or a different
Hmm.
environment type thing, I think it's just nice to think of it as a homeschool mom. This is like your playtime. Like you get to be a little
Yeah.
investigator. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Hmm.
this is so fun to go around and kind of observe your kids, just look at your kids and
Take notes. Yeah.
yeah, like
Mhm.
see what makes them smile or
Hmm.
what
Mhm.
makes them, I don't know,
Just
feel
light
kind
up.
of tired or
Yeah.
just different things because I think this is a good example when my husband is tired working long days and he's been doing that this week and he's struggling with these different things at work. I've been kind of just trying to instead of feeling kind of tired with him or
Hmm.
making it like letting it make us, I don't know, argue because we're both feeling a little tired or irritable. I've just been trying to see, like, oh, I wonder if I were to do this little thing, or like put my hand on his shoulder during this thing, or give him
Mhm.
a snack or something while he's
Mhm.
Yeah.
working. It's just been kind of it's made it, instead of a burden that he's really tired at the same time like I might be really tired, it's been kind of fun to where I just get to see what helps him feel good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like that. I think that's an opportunity we have. The last thing we were kind of talking about was be the adult. And I think
Yeah.
that's actually a really good example of that
Mm.
because you, as the adult, when you experiment with these things and some of them don't work out, you get to respond as an adult with a fully developed brain and
Mhm.
emotions and a handle
Right.
on those emotions. That's a really cool thing to be able to take that information and that feedback from your kids, whether it's good or bad, and you're not going to take it personally because
Right.
you were experimenting. And as an adult, you get to take all that information like a scientist and adjust what needs adjusted,
Yeah.
do what needs done, figure out what needs to be figured out.
They're really
Exactly.
small things again too. Like
Mhm.
generally they're pretty small adjustments, I think,
Yeah.
once you get to the root of it.
Obviously, in homeschool paradigm, I want to talk about a lot of different things, right? To do or whatever. But this noticing, it's like noticing month in homeschool paradigm. So the noticing really it naturally leads to changes. And it's amazing that how far that can just get you. You notice what you think, you notice how your kids respond, you notice, and it makes you want to change something, right? Just naturally. So this by itself can get you so far in getting to the homeschool that you want.
All right. So just to kind of wrap that up and go over it, we are going to be noticing the responses from our kids, the responses that they're having to their environment, whether that's more of a learning language type thing, which is more mental and emotional, or a physical environment thing. We're going to be noticing that. And then just doing little experiments, just making small adjustments and seeing how they come out. And then you are going to get the opportunity to be the adult and to respond to those in a productive way, in a way that can just take that information and use it how you want to use it. And
And lead your
you get
family.
to,
Yeah.
yeah,
Instead of reacting.
exactly.
All right, sounds great. We hope that you have enjoyed this three-part series on principles and practices. Thanks for listening.